Ugh. Ah, man. I can't believe we have to work on Toy Story 5. Don't you think 4 movies is enough? Well, clearly not, because 3 movies wasn't enough either. So, but hey, I just hope they know what they're doing. I mean, it has a nice concept, but, man, why can't we get something, like a spin-off movie of me? Because you got one, right, Buzz? Like, come on, don't you think that would be a good idea? And actually feel fair, too?
Actually, it's probably good you didn't get a spin-off, Woody. Because people will probably call you woke. They'll get you a different voice actor, and it'll probably flop harder than The Good Dinosaur.
Good point. Hey, who's got my hat?
Cow. Boy.
Hat! Give me that. Okay, fine, keep it. I already had to give away my voice box. Hey guys, what is up? This is Matthew Davis, me once again. And welcome to another video, much different than one that I usually do. Especially since this is not about Bluey this time, because I talk about that a lot. But ever since I made my video on Bluey video games, I thought to myself, maybe I should make more videos on video games. And not just my reviews for new games that come out. I mean just like in terms of older games in general. Like go into a deep dive on like games that have come out in the past, similar to AVGN, just without, not as much effort put into them, but you know what I'm talking about. And I've just been in a Toy Story mood. Like, there have been a lot of Toy Story games to come out in the past, like there was one for SNES, but I'm basically going to be taking a look at the games that you can play on modern hardware, specifically older ones that have come out that have been ported to, newer consoles. Specifically games like Toy Story 2. This is the N64 edition, but we're not going to be playing this edition. We're going to be playing the PlayStation edition. And how exactly? Well, it just so happens that this game is popular enough that it got ported to modern systems for only $6 too. What an absolute deal that is, so I figured, why not give it a shot? Of course, with the movie being a major hit, just like with the first one, it amazes me that, this is the game that most people consider to be the best game based off the license. And it's strange to me, because I remember popping the VHS for Toy Story 1, and they always played ads for, like, the CD-ROM games, the Super Nintendo game. But whenever I popped in Toy Story 2 on VHS, they never played, the advertisement for this game. And that's weird too, because again, a lot of people talk about how much fun they had with this game. I didn't hear about it until I got the N64. And I always skip down on this one because when it comes to games, I always focused on Zelda and Mario and Smash Brothers. The main games that a lot of people talk about when talking about the greatest N64 games. But again, we're not playing this version, so I don't know how it is. If it's similar to the PlayStation version, I know you can definitely tell when the graphics are different. But again, the reason why I'm just holding this is because, I need to show off a physical version. But, yeah, let us get started with talking about Toy Story games, starting off with Toy Story 2. Back in the early days of gaming, it was common that every Pixar movie had a game, mainly to cash in on the marketing for the film, but when people think of the best games to be based off a Pixar film, this game is what usually comes to mind. Every time I think about this game, it makes me think of the game that Rex was playing in the beginning of the movie. But no, this is fully based on the movie. We've all seen the movie. I watched it just as much as the first movie, if not a little more, though I still think the first is better, and my favorite being Toy Story 3, I have fond memories of the second movie. So you play as Buzz throughout the whole game, as Woody of course gets taken by Al, and you gotta rescue him. You start off in Andy's room, and your goal is to collect these things called Pizza Planet tokens. And what do? Allow you to go to the next level. Each area has 5 of them, and most of them you gotta get by doing mostly the same objective. For example, you have to collect 5 specific things and bring them back to a certain character, like Bo Peep's sheep, who has 5, apparently, Sarge's army men, Jesse's critters, and this duck's baby ducklings. You also get tokens by collecting 50 coins in each level, and giving them to Ham, which makes sense since he's a piggy bank, and he needs those coins. You also get tokens by doing races or timed challenges, like racing RC through the racetrack, or collecting Bullseye's horseshoes. Why does Bullseye need 5 of them? I guess he uses one for his tail too? And is he talking to Buzz? I guess Buzz speaks horse. Sometimes in order to get to certain areas, you need to get certain power-ups, like the hover boots or the rocket boots. The way you get these items is by getting one of Mr. Potato Head's body parts, then he'll unlock them for you. You are going to have to replay some of these levels because you're not going to be able to get all these items until later. I guess it's so you'll have a reason to replay the levels, but honestly, the game isn't too much of a challenge, especially if you're playing on the PS5. Hell, I managed to get the Platinum Trophy for this game without any guides. The objectives are pretty simple, and the levels aren't all that confusing. And in case you get stuck or don't know what to do, you can go over to Rex, who will give you hints on how to get certain Pizza Planet tokens. Each area has a boss, and your main attack is your laser, which is kind of weird given how it doesn't actually work in the movies, but hey, in this game, there's a reason it has to work. Buzz can also use a spin attack, which he'll have to use for certain bosses like Zurg. I don't really get why he can't just use the laser. For some reason, Zurg is immune to that, but yeah, I don't get it. Probably the most annoying fight is against the slime monster in the alley. You have to shrink him all the way down for you to hit him. If you stop shooting him, he gains the slime back, and the area is pretty tight too. The only way you'll be able to succeed at this is by getting the rapid fire power-up. Your health in this game consists of batteries. Makes sense, he's a toy after all, but that just kind of begs the question, what happens to Buzz when his batteries run out in the movies? Does he just lay there until they get switched out? Or I don't know, it's always fun to try and understand logic in animation. One thing I don't like is how after you finish a level, you never fully replenish your health when you go to the next one. Why? Most other games usually do that. But at least when you take damage, it's never like a big chunk. It's usually the same amount no matter which enemy it is. And it is common to find more of them, you just gotta be careful because enemies will respawn a lot throughout the levels. The cutscenes that play out are ripped from the movie, though the voice acting is replaced by the voices in the game. I gotta say, for PS1 graphics, they do have some cool details, like when you go into first person mode and you can see Buzz's face through his helmet. But oftentimes, it can look quite messed up. Like this. Dear God, what happened to Jessie? She looks like if Alfred E. Newman and Jeff the Killer had a daughter. My God, this is freaky as all can be. What did they do to poor Jessie? Just, yeah, when somebody loved her, everything was beautiful, but I guess nobody loves her now. Just hurry up and get to the ending already. Now in terms of the controls, they actually function quite well, sure. Some of the later levels definitely get more challenging due to the platforming, like in the elevator shaft, but every time you fall, you never take damage. And also, every time you get a Pizza Planet token, it gives you the option to keep playing. And you don't even need to get all the tokens in order to progress. So yeah, this game certainly is more kind when it comes to its challenge. Once in a while, you will fight other bosses who are characters from the movie, like Stinky Pete and the other Buzz Lightyear. The final boss is a combination of 3 of the previous bosses you fought, and somehow it makes the boss against Ornstein and Smout from Dark Souls look like a cakewalk. They all come at you at once. The biggest pain is probably the big guy. He has projectiles that are nearly impossible to avoid. Not to mention the gunslinger will keep shooting his projectiles at you, while Pete uses his axe to ground pound his projectiles. His own projectiles, of course, but yeah. The only way you're going to be able to take them down is if you separate them and focus on one at a time. Let me just say thank God for the rewind feature and save stating in the PS5 port, otherwise this would be nearly impossible to defeat, especially since there's no way of healing in this. Yeah, technically it's cheating, but it's 2026, play how you want. So yeah, after playing for around 7 hours, I see why people consider this a good one. And it is. It's no masterpiece, but for a game based off a Disney movie, it's one of the better ones I played. It definitely has some similar vibes to classic platformers like Banjo-Kazooie or DK64, And hey, it may not be as heavy on collectibles as those, but for a Toy Story game, it manages to have just enough to provide a decent amount of fun. And now we're moving on to a Toy Story game that I have been very familiar with ever since it came out, Toy Story 3, the video game. I always saw advertisements for this on the Disney Channel when they promoted the game just as much as they promoted the movie, because of course the ads for Toy Story 3 were everywhere, and the marketing truly managed to pay off. Not only is it my favorite in the series, but it's one of my favorite animated movies of all time. And I remember having a lot of fun with this as a kid. I always played it for the Wii. I got my Nintendo Wii for Christmas in 2010, and then when I was over at my dad's place, when I came back, not this location, back in my old house, I saw a copy of Toy Story 3 just sitting right there, and it's all like, oh my god, they got us Toy Story 3, like, oh my god, and I was just so excited, so I played it. I didn't really play much of the story mode. I mostly played the additional mode, the Toy Box mode, which we'll be getting into later, but I've had fond memories of this as a kid. But as I got older, as I played more games, I thought to myself, yeah, looking back, this was a pretty generic game, but I could be wrong. So we're not going to be playing this version because, well, I haven't played my Wii in years, and I don't have a capture card. So, yeah, thankfully, however, this has been ported to modern consoles. So, let's go back to the PlayStation and play Toy Story 3. Yeah, this is gonna be fun, I hope. Alright, let's play. Okay, I don't remember the game starting off like that. I definitely don't remember that either.
Hurry, guys! Bonnie's back from daycare!
Okay, places, everyone.
Buzz!
I know we're talking about kids' games, but what the f*** is this? This looks nothing like the version I played as a kid. Did I miss something here? Like, let me take a look at this. PSP? This is the PSP port? Why would they do that? That's like if they remade Borderlands 2 and ported it to PS5, but instead of it being the real Borderlands 2, they added the crappy PlayStation Vita version. Because that's the version nobody plays. Why would they do that? Okay. Okay. I guess I'll just have to get a capture card for the Wii. No. We have other options. Xbox, please save the day for once. Oh my god! They have it! But I already wasted $10 on this version. I don't really... I'm trying to save money right now, but... Wait a minute! Aha! I remember a few years ago my sister gave me this $15 gift card for Xbox. I never really downloaded games for Xbox because I usually just use Xbox Game Pass. You know, the thing that most people aren't using anymore because of, price increase, but that's beside the point. But as far as I know, these cards, they never expire, and since I never used it, this would be the perfect opportunity for me to use it for Toy Story 3, the game for Xbox. Let's hope this thing still works. Yes, it still works! Alright. Please let this be the version I remember. Yeah, that's what I remember. All right. Now, with all that being said, let's get into this. So the first level starts off similar to how the movie starts off, where Woody is riding Bullseye and has to get to a runaway train to save the orphans from evil Dr. Porkchop.
It's Mr. Evil Dr. Porkchop to you.
Whatever. Once you make it to the train, you gotta go up to the train to defeat Porkchop. This almost kind of reminds me of the train level from Uncharted 2, but instead of using guns, you use balls. And you can bash. Yeah, you can bash. Now, I gotta say, even though this is a tie-in game,
The graphics are surprisingly amazing. I guess I never gave the Wii version credit because it didn't use HDMI, but now that I'm playing it on Xbox, I give them a lot of credit for it now. It has some familiar tracks from the films while they use their own tracks as well. So after that, you select the levels with a game board. It consists of 8 levels from the movie. Almost from the movie anyway. As things slow down during the next session where Woody, Buzz, and Jessie have to get the 2 phones to try to get Annie's attention to play with them before going to college. I guess this is mainly to show how the characters function, like how Jessie can climb on certain things and Woody can use his string, which will be quite unfortunate if they make a game based on the 5th movie coming out. I should also mention while the cutscenes look great, there aren't too many of them, which can make the introduction of the next part seem abrupt. After that, we get to, in my opinion, the best part of the game, at least in the story mode, where they recreate the Buzz Lightyear game that was seen in the 2nd movie. It creates certain scenes like the tricky platforms, or running away from the death spikes, and they even recreate the opening sequence in a similar way. It does get a bit tricky later on, as you have to dodge a lot of electrical lines, especially these ones that can blow up Buzz instantly. Man, that's quite messed up if you think about it. The boss, of course, is Zurg, which isn't too hard. All you gotta do is shoot the crystals, then you shoot at Zurg while dodging his goons. The next level is at Sunnyside, where you have to play a bunch of mini-games, and then you talk to Lotso in the end. This happens abruptly, and some of the major parts of the movie aren't even recreated, but the minigames are pretty self-explanatory. There really isn't too much challenge to them. The next level is at Bonnie's house, and this I find to be a bit creative as it recreates the scene in the movie by using Bonnie's imagination, where Dolly is an evil witch. You basically go from platform to platform and avoid a massive pit of coffee. You then have to get batteries and use them to open up the next part of the level. A bit tedious, but not very hard to figure out. It can be a bit challenging when you have to ride on the rails, though the checkpoint system is very reasonable. The next level is somewhat of a stealth level where you have to help the toys escape Sunnyside in a stealth-like setting, which is something that I kind of expected for recreating the scene where they have to escape. It's nothing too confusing, and I also like how when you switch to Buzz, he can't do anything since Lotso programmed him to work for them in the movie. Sometimes the detection can be so bad it almost makes it too easy. Sure, from time to time it can tell when you reach the light, but again, it doesn't provide too much challenge. The 7th level is based on the dump scene, though the opening is kind of weird because you have to get the aliens away from the shredder, which doesn't really make much sense because the aliens weren't with them when they almost got shredded up. If they were, the movie would have ended with them burning to death and no one coming to rescue them. Then the next part is kind of like a puzzle-like part. You gotta switch from Woody to Buzz to Jessie in order to save the others from the incinerator. The game will give you hints on what you have to do, and you have to do this in 3 parts, though it does have a checkpoint system during these 3 parts, and it's still not too hard to figure out what you gotta do. The last part is where Andy and Bonnie use their imagination to create the haunted bakery that Bonnie was playing at the end of the movie, where you have to fight Dolly while an apocalypse of evil muffins try to attack you. You use 2 different cannons, one being a turret you use to defeat the mini-witches, and one where you defeat her full form. Do this 5 times, and that's the end. No special cutscene or go into the credits, it takes you back to the game board. In total, the game took around 2 hours to beat. Well, thankfully, that's not all you can do in this game, as the game has a toy box mode called Woody's Roundup, where you play as either Woody, Buzz, or Jessie in a desert full of aliens and toy townspeople. In the game, you get capsules that have different prizes in them, like clothes you can put on the townspeople, and each mission you complete gives you gold, which you use for currency to unlock other items at Al's Toy Barn. The golden days of not using real-world money for this type of stuff. Unlike some publishers. Wait, Bo Peep? What's she doing in this? She didn't come back till Toy Story 4. Wait, Wheezy? Holy crap, I don't even remember seeing them from the Wii version. I guess it's one of those things where the Nintendo port of a third-party game isn't as superior. Even the ads for new items could move while the Wii version had still images. You can also do other activities as well, like ride Bullseye in various challenges, which you can also do with a dragon you unlock later on. There's even a race car course you can unlock as well to perform tricks. The controls do feel a bit clunky for the cars, but it's still fun to try out. There's also goo that makes things big and small, which you can use on Bullseye. You can even unlock other parts of the game like Zurg's Fortress where you can use a ray gun, Sid's Haunted House where you can use a lightning rod, and Lotso's Enchanted World where you can use a magic wand to turn caterpillars into butterflies. Yeah, when I think what Lotso's world would look like, it would probably be the haunted house. I could understand if this was Buttercup's world, since he's like a unicorn or whatever, but with how Lotso kept toys as prisoners, treated his minions like garbage, betrayed Woody after saving his life, showing there's no redemption to him, I just can't take this seriously. Imagine playing this before seeing the movie and not knowing what he's like. Except for being huggable, but let's face it, he was anything but huggable in the movie. But with that being said, this was a fun little time waster if you just want to simply have fun. You can even abuse other toys in the games and you won't even get in trouble for it. Like kicking them across the desert, pushing them, throwing them, or the classic, Woody learned well from Mario. Some of the missions you do involve recreating certain pictures you find throughout the world. Each time you do, some pretty funny cutscenes appear. You can even toss army men to their targets, which isn't too challenging, you just gotta find all the targets. The controls actually function pretty well. This really was like the main portion of the game and clearly had the most time put into it. It may get repetitive, but there isn't like a major end to it. I spent hours in this mode as a kid and just had a blast. You can also play cooperatively too. So looking back on it, I take back what I said on this not being as good as I remember. It's actually a bit better now that I'm playing this version and not the Wii version. Movie licensed games might not be the best kind of games out there, but it's clear some dedication was put into this one. Even if the story mode is short, the Toy Box mode was easily the best part. It has more content in it, and sure, the story mode might have had some collectibles that you could get, and you could see them in a gallery at Al's Toy Barn, but I love how you can spend hours trying to get the achievements the Toy Box mode has, and it has a lot of them. It may not have had a whole lot to offer in terms of the world, but what made it fun was how much time you could spend into it with particularly no limits. Again, it isn't perfect. The main story could have recreated more scenes from the movie and could have had more cutscenes to not make everything feel like a misplaced edit. But still, now that the game can be bought for just $10 as opposed to the $50 or $60 you had to pay for when it first came out, it's definitely worth playing through again. That is, if you get the right version, of course.
So look, I might have been very nice to these games, but let's switch things out a bit. I already wasted money, so let's play the PSP edition. My god, why? If the PS3 version was like this, then I guess Xbox does do things better.
Okay, so the first level I will say is a little bit more faithful to the movie, but that doesn't make it better at all, as this time you go from area to area to get to the front of the train before it falls off the blown up bridge. This time you're collecting stars and train tracks because you need something to collect in this port. Other levels do have different items, but yeah, you're mostly just collecting the same things. After that, you play the cell phone part, but this time you play as the army men in some very generic stealth and platforming mechanics. It's even more slow than the one in the home console version. At least you're playing with multiple characters in that one. Huh, they're going through a wall. Interesting. The cutscenes are a big downgrade, as the story is only told through a storybook narrated by Rex, who explains everything that happened in the movie. And these games came out, I believe, just a few days before the movie came out. If you played this before seeing the movie, you'd get spoiled by everything. And I mean everything. Now yes, this video already spoils everything that happened in the movies, but name one person you know who hasn't seen them. Just name one. Anyways, one part of this port that wasn't in the home console version is a part where you gather all the toys before going to Sunnyside. Yeah, but here's the thing. Remember how the home console version had the Buzz Lightyear game in that one? Well, that's replaced with this. Just remove the fun homage to Toy Story 2 and replace it with a gathering sequence. Yeah, why was this the port PlayStation went with again?
Don't worry, we're a family.
I will say it can be kind of handy how you can follow the stars on where the next toy is, but it provides no challenge or anything exciting, just gather everybody and move on to the next part. Though I won't lie, I like how the blocks have the sound effect of knocking down bowling pins. So after that, the game unlocks a bonus level where you play as Buzz, similar to the Buzz Lightyear level in the home console version, except in minigame form where you go from platform to platform and rank up on lives. There are moments that do feel like the other version, like this flying stage, even though it feels less challenging. Hell, there's literally nothing challenging about this part, just jump and shoot at the right time, then move on. I will say that the controls respond quite well, but again, it's really nothing special, especially since this one only takes like 5 minutes. It might as well just be a level in the story mode. So the next part you play as Woody and you gotta go downstairs to stop the toys from getting thrown away. And okay, this is one thing I'll give this version credit for. This wasn't in the home console version. Instead, it took us straight to Sunnyside. I would have liked it if there was like some sort of challenge rather than just moving from one area to the next, because again, it feels lacking in challenge. Now look, I get this is a kid's game and all, but so are these, and they love to beat kids' nerves to a pulp. This section I had to see what happened if you screwed up. Huh, I was expecting Andy's mom to flip out in fear. Oh well. Why are there bowls of soup out? And why are there 4 of them? Doesn't Andy just live with his mom and sister? We never knew what happened to his dad. Besides, doesn't Andy's mom have to go to Sunnyside after taking the trash out? It's gonna get cold as ice by the time she gets back. So after that, you unlock another minigame that takes inspiration from the Woody's Roundup show from Toy Story 2. All you gotta do is jump over obstacles and duck under things, then you shoot at bandits by pressing the right buttons. It's a nice addition, and just like the Buzz Lightyear minigame, it doesn't take too long to beat. The next level is where the toys get playfully pummeled by the toddlers in the caterpillar room, and Buzz has to try to distract the kids to get them to stop, even though Buzz just suffered with them until the day was over in the movie. But hey, this also wasn't in the home console version. Okay, am I seriously in the wall again? So many levels have you exploring the inside of the walls. Was there not enough time to add in more creative ideas for the levels? Because all I've been doing is just going from place to place collecting stars without any effort. Okay, how did this kid see me? I was right behind her. The AI is somehow less dumb than in the home console version. The next part is where Woody leaves Sunnyside to go back home again. It's the same thing, collect stars, go from one area to the next, stealth sections that aren't even real stealth sections. You get the point. Now look, this game may have more levels than the other version, but the thing is, that game had a life bar, and you could fight actual things. All this game has is repetitive platforming. And sure, this may have collectibles too, plus each level has challenges you can do to test your skills, but these levels just lack replay value. You can then do another Woody's Roundup minigame after. Then it moves on to the part where Buzz goes to find Lotso to get him to transfer him and the others to the butterfly room. And he finds Lotso by following his strawberry scent? Yeah, that wasn't how it worked in the movie, but why am I comparing every single part of the movie? It doesn't have to be, but whatever. But seriously, why can't Slinky do this part? He's a dog. Dogs are the ones that follow scents. Oh, and let me guess. Is there a part where, of course, you go through the wall again? Why am I not surprised? I will admit, though, Buzz's glow-in-the-dark feature is a nice detail. Oh dear God, I take back what I said about Jesse's design in Toy Story 2 the game. This is the most terrifying thing I've seen in a Toy Story game. If you have to go up against the monkey, I am probably gonna have nightmares. More nightmares than I got from the monkey, which to be honest, I don't get nightmares from horror movies because that's my thing. Seriously, imagine if this was the box art for the PlayStation Portable version.
Hey kids, it's Randy Newman. Get ready for Toy Story 3, the video game for PlayStation Portable. A fun family adventure for everyone. But watch out for that scary baby or he might beat the living shit out of you. Rated EC for early childhood.
Another Buzz Lightyear minigame is then unlocked, which I will admit is better than the last one, and then... Are you serious? We're recreating the scene where Woody has to go to the computer. The other version used Bonnie's imagination for its level, but now I gotta escort myself to the computer? Bonnie's toys just took me to it. Seriously, what's next? Another part in the...
Okay, now I go straight ahead.
Excuse me for a second. Why are there so many parts in the freaking walls? They're all the same. It's not that they're difficult, but it's just lazy level design. This is literally just rinse and repeat of the levels that came before. You don't even fight in this game except during the mini games. Ugh. The next part is where Woody returns to Sunnyside to help the others escape, and Slinky helps him out by tagging along. You have to go into the vent to turn off the fans in order to advance. Hey, as long as I get a break from the walls, I'm fine with this. You then gotta avoid lights where, unlike the console version, these ones spot you much more easily, so it can be a bit of a struggle from time to time, but the checkpoint system is still fair to say the least. You then unlock another Woody's Roundup minigame, then you play as Jessie and find all the keys to unlock each of the toys from their cages. Wait, why is it storming outside? It wasn't storming at this part in the movie. If it was, Mr. Potato Head wouldn't have been able to use his tortilla form or signal the other toys using the light of the moon. If anything, the plane would have been ruined. Oh well. I do find it funny how Buzz tries to get out, almost like he's doing some weird mime dance or something. Here's one thing I don't get. Why do you go back when you fall a few feet from the ground? It's not like that was a hazard. Seriously, in Toy Story 2, the game, Buzz could fall 100 feet from an elevator and still survive without losing health or going back to a previous part. The next part is where the toys get sent to the dump, and they get pulled into the shredder unless they grab a piece of metal that will get pulled by the magnet above so they won't get destroyed. You play as Buzz as you grab the metal and give them to the toys. I don't understand why the conveyor belt is a hazard, but there just needs to be a hazard. I won't lie, I do wish this part was in the other version since it definitely follows the movie better, and the aliens aren't there this time, making it follow the film more. The next Buzz minigame is where you reach Zurg, but instead of fighting him, you fight his robots for some reason. Does this game hate boss fights? Then you play as the aliens so you can get to the crane before the toys burn the incinerator. You switch from each alien to help each other out till you reach the crane. No time limit, no punishing challenge, just go to the end till you reach the crane. Or, excuse me, the claw. Why did I say that sarcastically? That's an iconic line. Why did that look like it killed them rather than helped them? Oh god, is this one of those claw machines that's always rigged? Now, in the next level...
We're all in the garbage truck on our way home, but Buzz fell out and had to jump from car to keep up with us.
What? Rex, you got the wrong movie. This isn't Toy Story 1. Then again, if it was, Woody would be there too. But now they're just finding excuses to stretch the game out. Okay, so all you do is jump from car to car, and that's it. Oh, and the back of a Pizza Planet delivery bike, so yeah. Nothing more to this part, and then after that, the game ends. Yep, that was literally the last part. Nothing special, Rex just tells us how the movie ends, and cue credits. Also, there are mini games dedicated to the level with the aliens, but I'm not really going to show that because, well, I don't care. Now, to be fair, this may follow the movie better than the home console version, and the story mode may be longer too, but I still think that the home console version is far superior. This version doesn't even have the toy box feature. Not even the mini games are enough. If anything, this port feels less imaginative and more like, well, a better version of the game that shall not be named, you know, the one that's also a licensed game with stealth, puzzles, and no combat whatsoever. You know, that not so precious game. Now look, this game is bad, but it's more of a boring bad than a hilariously bad game. It's far too repetitive and just feels like there was less creativity put in this. At least the home console version had imagination with the levels and had a couple bosses too. Plus the toy box mode was easily the best thing about it. And not to mention, you could play with a friend at home too. Isn't that what Toy Story is about? Friendship? This just feels like that if it were bought from Temu. I don't know why PlayStation got this version instead of the better one, so either get a copy of the real version or buy it from the Xbox store instead. That is, if you're still using your Xbox with everything that's going on with Xbox, but that's besides the point.
Well, I guess that's it for Toy Story games on modern systems that I can play. I know there's also Buzz Lightyear of Star Command, which you can also play on modern consoles, but that's more of a game based on the made-for-TV movie rather than it being fully like a Toy Story video game. Because, while that movie is technically Buzz Lightyear, it's more of a spin-off, the same way the Lightyear Pixar movie was also a spin-off and not really part of the Toy Story world. So, yeah, but I feel like 3 games is enough, so I'm just going to have my tea, my sleepy time tea, and then I'm going to bed. Yeah, Lecter, I'll get you treats in a little bit. Just let me have my tea.
Uh-oh, he's forgetting something. Hold on, I'll take care of this. There it is. Yep. Yeah. If he finds out that $8 has been taken from his account, I'll just say, the money fairy stole it. Then again, he can't know that I'm alive.
Gotta Bob, howdy. What? I don't remember buying this. Toy Story Minecraft mashup? I mean, there was no game based off Toy Story 4, so it's downloaded, so might as well give you guys a little bonus, even though it's Minecraft, but I guess it still counts.
Throughout the years, Minecraft has partnered with so many licensed companies to bring different expansions, from SpongeBob to Stranger Things to Disney movies to Star Wars. Most recently, they got a Bluey one, and maybe I'll talk about that in a future video, but for now, let's take a look at the Toy Story mashup. It spawns you into Andy's room with some nice replications of it. What the? Oh, I guess this is supposed to be Bo Peep's sheep. Still less creepy than these. Hey look, it's Ham. Not too shabby at all. And the chests replicate Andy's toy box. And there are some pretty cool features like Andy's drawings. Is that Bonnie's house? Shouldn't it be right around the corner and not across the street? How can I tell this is her house? Because why else would there be an RV? Which of course they used for Toy Story 4. Oh, and Pizza Planet. I always wanted to go there, but seriously, we all wanted to go there as a kid. There is a claw machine that has the villagers represent the aliens. I also like how they got the music from the movies too. I'm not going to play it just in case of copyright, but trust me, it's there. Even the wings replicate Buzz's wingspan. And over here is Sunnyside Daycare. And right here, we got Al's Toy Barn, which represents how it looks in Toy Story 2 quite well. It even has the Buzz Lightyear section. I'm going to turn the game to normal to see what the enemies look like. Okay, the spiders are like the baby head one from the first film, even though he was your friend in the movie. Which is zombies, robot creepers. Makes perfect sense. Then we got the garbage dump. Hopefully this doesn't have the shredder or the incinerator. Oh, never mind. It does. Funny thing, as I'm going through this, the ending music where Andy gives Bonnie his toys is playing. Very appropriate for this place, if you know what I mean. Oh, you also get costume character skins too. Kind of expected that. Oh wow, they even got Al's penthouse. Oh no, poor Bullseye's trapped in there all alone. And is that the cheese puffs Al spilled? Wow, they really went all out for this world. They even got the elevator shaft. I am amazed at how well they replicated this world, even if some areas are misplaced. Like, why does Al live in front of the junkyard and not the toy barn? Oh well. Over here we got Sid's house. I wonder. To infinity and beyond! Hey, I am a real space ranger. Huh. I will go sailing more. Here's the carnival. I can't find Bunny or Ducky, though. And over here is the antique shop. I gotta say, overall, this is a really nice representation. I do wish they had more variety when it comes to laying out other characters, unless maybe I'm too stupid to figure out where they are in this world. But nothing too major overall, but this is a really nice world to check out if you just want to go to the world of Toy Story and listen to some iconic themes from the soundtrack, or dress as some of your favorite characters, or explore different locations from the movies. So while none of these games can particularly live up to the masterpieces that are the movies, I still think overall there is some decent variety in some of these games. Even the PSP port had, well, I don't even know what to say about that. I still just recommend the home console version, but I feel like when it comes to, playing these games, it just makes us feel like, we're still playing with toys, just digital versions, because that's mostly what video games tend to do. I mean, with, iPads and tablets being popular for kids now, I feel like Toy Story 5 has a really good idea behind it, and I'm hoping that the movie is good. And I will be rewatching all the movies before then, even Toy Story 4. I still think that is a great movie. Unnecessary, yes, but I will still rewatch it along with the other three. It's still the weakest out of all of them, and there's a part of me that hopes that Toy Story 5 is even better, but there's also a part of me that, since Toy Story 4 isn't as good as the previous ones, well, we'll just have to wait and see. Until then, I think I'm going to reward myself with some delicious hot schmoes. So, see you next time. Oh yeah, and subscribe and check me out on all these links are in the description. You know the drill. Hey, who took $8 out of my account? Well, I just ordered Pizza Plant, my favorite. Just gotta wait till it arrives now, which should be 20 minutes or less. Hey. Have we met? Hmm.